Let's get to your voicemails. Very intense voicemails today. Our voicemail line available 24 hours a day is 219-2-DAVID-P. Here's a voicemail. I won't even introduce it. I'll just play it for you. It's a very, very angry voicemail.
Mr. Pakman, why don't you liberal in the corporate media? You spend so much time talking about when blacks are victims of interracial crime like Trayvon Martin. You try to stir up the black people, and then you ignore whenever there's a black crime against whites or Asians. These blacks are killing people in robberies all over the country, whether they be white, yellow, or brown. And you in the media never say nothing. You spend one day talking about the soldier in England who was butchered to death with meat cleavers, hunting knives, and butcher knives. Why don't you people in the media talk about justice for that soldier in England who was butchered by the blacks?
Right.
No,
listen, if you're going to refer to Asian people as yellow, and when you talk about black people, you say someone who was butchered by those blacks, I think maybe you're not the best person to be speaking about race relations and racial biases on media. That's just my thought. I don't really have anything else to say about that voicemail. Also, the Eggman checking in about my distaste for the use of the word retard. The Eggman seems to have a different point of view. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Hello, David. I think that your interpretation of language is a little bit closed-minded. I know that you don't like the word retarded,
right?
But I don't really see too much of a negative connotation on that unless it's absolutely deserved. I would like to tell you that Gordon Klingerschmidt is a retard. Now, if you hear that word retarded and think that my argument as for why he's retarded is invalid only because I use that word, I think you're going to miss out on some really good points. Retarded really is just a slowed down growth. I think the guy's brain never grew properly. That's why he thinks homosexuality or gay people are below him. He's a retard, and I have really good reasons as to why. So
yeah, I mean, here's the thing, Eggman. I understand what you're saying. You're saying, listen, I might actually think that someone I call a retard is what you would describe, medically speaking, as mental retardation. But the problem is, when you say he's an effing retard, you're right away taking it out of the medical context that you claim you're using. I hear what you're saying. You think that literally Gordon Klingenschmidt has a growth slowdown that could be considered medically as what at one point was referred to as mental retardation. But when you say he's effing retarded, you're going to lose most people who you might be able to otherwise convince you mean that. I think that the word has taken on a negative connotation. We can't decide. It's never an insult, and people will know when I use it that it isn't one. I just find myself not agreeing with the Eggman here, Lewis.
That's fair. You're allowed to do that, but I think there is something to be said for Eggman's comedic delivery. I think that
Listen, I understand. The Eggman is really, really funny. I just think he's flat out wrong. I've seen people be hurt by this kind of lax use of the term retard. It's not a word I use. And I just, as funny as the Eggman's delivery may be, and we love the Eggman's voicemails and his emails and his regular recommendations for all sorts of stuff that we should be doing and Twitter tweets, you get my point. I just think he's absolutely wrong on this. Excellent, excellent bonus show today. davidpakman.com/membership. Big announcements about the show. That's it for today. We will see you on Monday.